Simple one today. It's the second week of December and I haven't done any Christmas cards yet. Well, I've done a few, but there's a few people that I like to do personalised cards for, so as in I take the photo, and I haven't done that yet, so I thought it might be interesting for you to see me try and do it. So I'm in my mini studio, micro studio, garage, and I'm just gonna have you there like a parrot in the corner watching me while I go through the shoot. So it's a very simple one, and the reason for doing this is that in an upcoming video I might show you how I put this studio together, because it's kind of functional and basic, but it also gets the job done in a very small space, and I thought it might be interesting. But here is an illustration first of me it being used. So very simple one. I've got a grey background paper, and so that's just going under this chair which is behind me that you can't see. I'll lower the camera in a second. And I've got my subject who's coming along in a minute, and all I need to do is to get some half decent shots of them. And because it's Christmas, I've got a couple of props for them to wear. There's the chair, and yeah, so it's going to be a simple headshot basically, and then I will go and get those printed. I'll stick them on some cards. I will send them to my friends, and they will be delighted, I'm sure, by the personalised card. So let's get going. I'm going to spend a little bit of time setting up, and then I'll get the subject in. Hold on. Today I should be using the Fuji X-H1 with the Godox whatever it is trigger, X Pro, I think X Pro 2 maybe, and the 18-55 Fuji lens. It's the kit lens, you know, the really good kit lens that a lot of people have. And yeah, let's get going. My plan is I'm going to have a main light coming from the subject's right side, and that's going to be a Pixapro Rice Bowl 85S with a grid on it. So I want the face to be lit, but I don't want the light to spill onto the background, because I want to handle the background separately. If that's a bit too moody, I've got this one to brighten up the other side of the face a bit. I think the most difficult bit of this is getting a half decent red gel background in the right place. So I want the curve, so it's going to form a curve of light, and I want that curve to be on the background exactly where the subject is going to be. Until the subject gets here, I've got a stand-in. This is my stand-in, who is approximately the right height. She's actually not, she's actually too tall. So if I take that off for now, that's approximately the right height. You can't tell from where you're looking, but they are actually bang in the middle of the background. Do a bit of faffing off camera. So where I've got, so the red light is roughly in the right place, but it's the wrong power. So settings, ISO 200, base for this camera, shutter speed of 250, which is kind of studio setting, and f8 because I want as much as possible to be in focus for this shot, and it's kind of where this lens performs at its best anyway. I expect to be, so again this is the 18-55, I expect to be kind of roughly in the middle of that, I would imagine, depending on how much the subject moves. That's too red. So it's so red, it's so bright rather, the red is correct, but it's so bright that the red is being washed out. So I've got a Godox AD200, which is currently set to 1/4. That's 1/8. So that's better. Let's get in there. It's still a bit bright. That's better. Right. So that's what I want. I want kind of a bit of a halo effect, or a bit of a kind of a radial gradient, if you like. But the subject is completely dark, so let's do the face next. Where are we? This light here Oh no. Yeah, that light. It's on a flexible arm. So that's roughly the right position. So if you could see, so I've got the face and head here. The softbox is actually pointed slightly in front. So the idea here is that the light kind of gets all the way across, and then it kind of softly goes around here, which means that even though it's pointing in this one direction, although there will be shadow on the left side of the face, I may not need a fill-in light, but I might. I don't know what setting this will be at. Let's try it. Because this is a cheap Godox. It's not the fact that it's Godox that makes it cheap, actually. It's the cheapest of the kind of the flashlights, the mains powered flashlights. It only goes down to 1/32, so sometimes it's too bright. So let's see. Wouldn't you know it, that's about right. That's all right most of the time. The problem comes that if I find that is too bright and I can't get the light to go any lower, which I can't, then I have to start changing the other settings, and I don't want to change the settings, but you're kind of forced into it. Okay, so I'm going to try F10, same shot. Okay, so that gives me this. So that was F8, that's F10. So the only difference is really that this gives me more control because I'm not as close to kind of being too bright. I'd rather be on this camera, and actually on most cameras, I'd rather be underexposed than overexposed, because there tends to be more information to pull out in the shadows than there is to rescue in the highlights. So I think that's about right. That is possibly a bit moody on the older, this side of the face, so I do think I will need a fill-in light. What I find useful about these sorts of things is that I'm always evaluating whether I really don't want to buy any more kit, and actually I shouldn't need to buy any more kit. I've got plenty of kit, but it's not necessarily in the right place, and it's not necessarily to hand, and it's only really by trying to do these things, and this is such a simple setup, and it's only really by doing these things that you get to realise I need that there, I need that here, I don't need this at all, and the things that you don't need you can save up space with. Okay. We are ready to go. Right, just need to remember where this stuff is because it's in the way of the door. So bye bye to my temporary model. I've actually changed to F13 in the end just to make sure that it's dark enough for me. The reason that I've tried to set everything up in advance is that my model's attention span is very brief. So I want to have as few things to bugger about with when they're here as possible. Can you sit? This is Toby. This is my model for today. He's usually pretty good. Because I've spent weeks and weeks, every time he comes in here he gets a treat, just to kind of to make it so that it's part of his house. So we're only in the garage, but you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get just a headshot of him. Alright, so there we are. So that was the most recent one. So I've got the lighting where I think it's going to be fine. Because it's Christmas, I need to get some props involved. As a dog, he's okay with props. He's not wild about them. he'll wear them for a bit. Never put the treat in your hand unless you're willing to give it to them. Okay, I think that's it for the little hat. I'm going to try the big hat. That's it. Good boy. Stay there. Stay there. I've also desensitised Toby to the flash over the period of many months, so he just doesn't care about the flash. So it's actually quite close to him. Look, it's kind of just over a forearm's length from his face, but he's absolutely fine with it. Mainly because he's going to get a treat. Right, it's been pointed out to me by someone that maybe because it's Christmas, not everything has to be quite so dark. So I'm going to do second shoot, mini shoot. It's day 2, and I'm going to make this one much brighter, bit more high key light, I suppose, and have a bit of variety. Okay, so what I've done is the rice bowl softbox that was up here, I've replaced it with this thing, which I actually don't know how big it is, but this is the biggest softbox that I own, and it's at least 1 metre, so that's to give sort of broad light. So I'm after bright, kind of shadow-free light for on this occasion. I've kept the red light on the background the same, except that I've added a couple of layers of kind of reddish gel, so that in theory I can make it brighter going through there and still keep it red without going to kind of pink. And I've removed the light that was to the side, so there is just one light at the moment. So, I've also got rid of the armchair that Toby was sat on. So that kind of does 2 things. That kind of that makes it so that I can get him in a more precise position, if I can get him in position at all. He's here. And it also means that the floor reflects a little bit. Now the floor's the kind of the same light grey as the background, so you know, we'll see how that goes. His bribery today are duck treats. Toby, can you go over here? Can you go back? There we go. It's all right. It's all right. Just go there. Sit. Sit. So what's the same as yesterday is that I really don't need the whole body. It's about the head. That's what we got. That's what we want. Good boy. Stay there. Stay there. Little hat. Silly little hat. Okay. That's one. Good boy. That's it. Good boy. Stay there. No, it's all right. No. Stay there. Good boy. Okay. And last one. Come. Forward a bit. Forward a bit. Forward a bit. Stop. And sit. Sit. Good boy. Stay there. Good boy. Good boy. All done. And that's that. Okay, and 2 days later, I'm back. I'm in my office. So what I've done is I've taken what I think are the best 5 shots from those 2 sessions in the garage studio with Toby, and I've had them printed. I don't have a photo printer anymore. In fact, the only printer I've got is a black and white toner printer now. So I use my local photography shop, which also has a photo printing service there. So I've stuck those 5 shots for the 5 different people that they're going to onto some really shiny card. It's surprising how difficult it is to get normal card in a UK high street now. So they are ridiculously shiny. But the purpose of them is that I have a plain background on which to write. So I've got that one, I've got that one, I've got that one, and that one, and that one. And once these have dried, I will write on them, cut them, envelope them, and send them. And that'll be that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make something simple, something to let me know what you think of the photos. I know they're not amazing, but that's not the point. The point is that I took them and no one else will get them. So apart from you. And yeah, see you next time, which might be just about before Christmas if I can.